just wanted to ask about you've been telling us about being authentic, being true to yourself, but how do you find your unique selling proposition in order to get to that authenticity at the same time the sweet spot where you can sell, you can be commercial? To anyone in the panel.
You can start, Hart. Again, it starts with being yourself. And then it's all about curiosity. I'm a curious girl, and it interests me so much. I myself, I feel like I'm very privileged or blessed that I am exposed to a gamut of different professionals, different fields. I kind of pick up from everything that I see out there, and I kind of try to make it my own. You know, my friend once told me that we, as individuals, we're actually a mix of different people we meet in our lifetime. And I totally agree in that. And I feel like by learning, by being open, by being interested, and at the same time really honing your most authentic self, then you come up with this brand that whatever you touch will sell because you know how to translate it your own way that will make it different from other people, that will also make it relatable. It's kind of contradicting, but it makes sense.
Thank you, Hart. Maybe we can hear from Bretman or Riza as well. How do you find the middle ground between being yourself and also, building a brand?
For me, being yourself is really questioning who am I? What am I most prideful of? And I think that's a great way to start, finding out what being yourself is. And for me, what makes me is I'm bakla. I grew up in Hawaii, and these are experiences that I've experienced in my life that are uniquely to me, but that doesn't mean that people across the world couldn't relate to that. So I think being yourself really starts off at questioning who am I and what is my most prideful of, and going back again to what Ms. Hart said, being yourself is truly just kind of like little things that you picked up from people that you meet, experiences from your life, and if you're truly authentic to yourself, that should just speak through your content and anything that you put out, really.
Love that.
And I want to add, from a brand perspective about the selling part and finding the middle ground. For a brand, it's also like, you want to look for people that know themselves, that understand what products they like what hotels do they want to go to, what brands do they want to work with, and all of that makes them even more marketable because they're not fake. They're going to use what they want to use on their hair, on their face, and they're going to talk about it passionately because they're so into it. And I think all of us as consumers of social media know that when someone is really getting paid and they're not that into it, you never want that to come through. And so I think as a brand, it's all about that word again, authenticity, being yourself, and choosing things and people and products that really speak to you, that you feel proud to use and want to talk about.
So at the end of the day, I don't think you need to pick between authenticity and being marketable because they seem like they go hand in hand.
Authenticity is
I feel like that's the only trend that we should follow.
Yes, so many quotable quotes. I love it. I think if there's anything that we can really take away from this is that your authentic self, when you let it shine, when you let yourself tell your authentic story.
Exactly, because if you're gonna follow the trends all the time, there's a saying that goes, do not conform to the patterns of this world. And I truly believe in that because then you're like everybody else. Then what will make you different? Trends are great. From time to time. But then you're kind of losing your own voice when you listen to somebody else's likes or trends. Be your own trend, and eventually you'll have your own kind of path. And I feel like that's just gonna work.
Yeah, and we can see it on our For You page or our news feed. The people who stand out the most are the people who we did not see coming. And I think if the people watching us today want to make it there, you're gonna have to listen inside.
Yes, and sometimes you're not too confident about who you are. We have to trust that and keep going, keep being consistent, keep telling your story, and then as confident as you get as time goes by, then you're just gonna hit it. But don't think about it, just keep going. Because I feel like most of us here career entered or started social media as a way of self-expression, hobby, and it has just grown into this massive worldwide stage where we can all connect and there are no more barriers or gates. We can all be friends. We can all kind of express ourselves, inspire each other, and I feel like the nice thing about it is it all starts from the heart before you even think about it as a business or as something that you earn money from. So it's great because I feel like social media itself stands for passion, and you'll see where passion can lead you and lead you. So that's, I guess, how it becomes a business in the end.
And what are the things that you've seen out in the global fashion landscape that you feel inspired you in your own work? And what is the process like, especially for a lot of our audience here who want to get into the fashion industry? What is it like working with international brands?
It's amazing what you see out there. One thing that I constantly see would be people are just allowed to just be themselves. There aren't really stuff. I mean, everyone tries to talk about it, but I really see it like so much when I'm in a different country when there is no beauty standard. Everybody is beautiful, and the moment that they're allowed to be, that's when the magic happens. And everyone's outstandingly pretty, expressing with their looks, and working with other brands from other countries. It's not that I know how it works here, where you're given a brief, what to say, what color to wear, what to wear, how to be in a way. There, they give you the brand, and it's up to you how to sell it or how to express it and how to kind of translate it into what makes you you. So that's the difference, and I feel like for me that works better because if you're a true-blooded content creator, then this is something that excites you. Then you come up with great content with a great storyline that for some reason just truly works when it comes to the algorithm. So that's the difference I feel. Here I feel like we're a bit more safe. We're a bit more concerned about what other people think or what beauty should look like. There it's more be yourself and the magic definitely happens. So I feel like that's the difference in that space. It's personal. That's why we all started out as we wanted to be part of it, not because we wanted money from it or we wanted to make it into a business. We tend to forget as it gets bigger, as we earn more money, the more perfect we want to appear. No, we have to be vulnerable, and someone's got to do it. Make the mistake, show your mistake, be vulnerable. Not that I promote being bad, but we all are bad sometimes, and we have to be as honest and as true as possible because that's what's going to seal the connection with your viewers, with your fans, with people who are curious, because at the end of the day, they're going to actually be appreciative that you were just truly yourself. And so that will also say so much of, when I hold this, when I like this, it means I like it. I'm not going to fake it that I want it because they paid me to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just being completely true and honest, I feel, is the very first key.
I'm sure the audience feels that as well, and that's what makes the connection so strong.
I'm Ella, and I'm a fashion student at Academy, right? So I was just wondering, because this whole talk has been about being your authentic self, being your having that personalities, thing that's gonna make you shine and grow and stuff like that. But for me, because I kind of have a lot of personalities. I kind of like a lot of different things, and I'm having trouble in finding like what personality to go with and move on with, because especially for a brand, since I'm a fashion student and I'm gonna have my own brand in the future. Like, how can I work with that? Like, is that gonna be my brand that I have a lot of different styles, or do I pick one and just go with it? So that's kind of my question.
All right, who wants to start?
I can have a little bit. I'm so interested.
I love it.
That's the beauty about having different personalities. You're multifaceted and you'll cater to so much, but it also comes with age, I feel. Sad to say. It'll narrow narrow down eventually. Then you'll have more of like a solid like vision of what you want. But be as much as you want, be whoever you want to be at this certain point in time, and then you'll find her.
It seems like now. Right up? Was that?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, go ahead, please. Thank you.
I also want to say too, like, you know, you as people, as humans, you're constantly changing. And so even if, you know, you're 20 years old or I'm 42, you know, how I was last week, sometimes, you know, I feel different now in a different way. So I think just embracing whatever journey that you're going on, and if you're trying to create a brand now and it feels like there's 5 different things, as Hart says, maybe just go with that feeling. And then maybe the next year or 2, you're like, you know what, I'm over this look, and I'm gonna be this. I think that that's okay, and we should give permission to ourselves to continue to change and evolve, and that's part of the beautiful journey.
Yeah, and it's always so interesting to follow somebody's journey like that. Now, to everybody on the panel, I'd like to ask you guys any last message or advice to any of our aspiring content creators from the audience. You can start with Deanna. Any last message?
I feel like if you want to become a content creator, I think just really start with what you love doing and just see how you could express that online and social media, and whether it's like dancing or singing or anything, I feel like just invest time on that as well to keep practicing, and because there's always room for improvement, so just keep practicing, stay consistent, and just be yourself.
Love it. Hart?
It goes back to principles with what my mom told me once. You'd rather have a handful of friends than an army of acquaintances, and it's the same with the numbers on social media. Even if you guys aren't a lot, but you're solid, that's all you need. Do not be, pressured with numbers. Just truly be yourself, and they will come.
So important. So important. Bretman, can we have you?
Bretman, I think you're on the stage.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. We have you back.
I kept speaking out every time Hart spoke, and I was like, oh god, let me shut up. But my biggest advice is honestly to embrace change. I think it's very easy to get into the numbers and into the algorithm, but you need to realize that social media is never going to stop changing. So you either have to really adapt to it or really just embrace it. Whenever I notice an algorithm change, I kind of embrace it as a way to challenge how I create my content. And so honestly, if my videos are not popping, I'm like, okay girl, bet I can make a funnier video. And then, so challenge the changes and embrace them, because they bring out the best creativity, I think, at least for me.
I agree. I think a lot of people here agree as well. And finally, Riza.
I mean, everything that I completely agree. My last piece of advice is, I would say that there's so much information out there than ever before. Like if you ever wanted to have Oprah or somebody, Bretman, as your mentor, there's so much content for you to learn from. So I think constantly just looking to the internet, social media, podcasts, books, etc., to gather as much information as possible in whatever you want to do, whether you want to be a designer, an entrepreneur, start your own brand, be a content creator. There's so much information out there for us to learn and continue to grow. So I would advise you guys to take advantage of that, because this has never been like this now, where again, you have access to all these people, whether it's on Twitter or X or whatever. That information is there if you really want to learn and be what you want to be. It's available for you, and it's access to everybody. So that's my piece of advice.
I love that. If you're looking for a sign to start, whatever it is, I think it's perfectly clear that it is now. So thank you so much, Riza. Bretman, Liana, and Hart for such an enlightening conversation, and to our audience of course who participated in this session. We hope this talk has equipped you with practical knowledge that can guide your future. Thanks so much for listening and have a great afternoon.